Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Today we are going to be studying James chapter 3, starting in James 3 verse 1. Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with more strictness. And what James is saying here is don't be a hypocrite. Remember that as a teacher, you will be judged more strictly. So don't go out preaching against something and then doing it in the background. Don't go out preaching against sex outside of marriage as you go on having sex outside of marriage. Don't go on talking about certain subject as you are doing certain things. Don't be a hypocrite, because you will be judged with greater strictness. And Romans 2:21 says, you then who teach others, do you not teach yourself? While you preach against stealing, do you steal? Exactly what James is saying, but in a different way. Remember that you will be judged more strictly. So remember that when you preach, do what you preach. Don't just preach and be a hypocrite with your preaching. James 3:2. For we all stumble in many ways, and if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle his whole body. For we stumble in many ways. 1 John 1:8 says, if we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves and the truth is not in us. And if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man. Why? Because Jesus in Matthew 12:37 said, for by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Through your words, you are able to bridle your whole body. You're able to control your whole body. And in other words, it's through your mind and your words that you control your whole body, your whole life, your whole mindset. Everything about you is controlled through the way that you think and the way that you speak. If you're enjoying this video so far, drop me a like, drop me a comment, and click the subscribe button. It does really help. And look how James explains this in verse 3. If we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they obey us, we guide the whole bodies as well. Look what he says in verse 4. Look at the ships also. Though they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder, where the will of the pilot directs. What controls your body is your tongue, brothers and sisters. Look at verse 5. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. Do you understand why James would say that the tongue is set among our members, is set among other body parts, but is the part that stains the whole body? Because Jesus in Matthew 15:18 said, but whatever comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this defiles a person. You see, it's not what goes into your mouth, not food that defiles a person, but it's what comes out of your mouth, the words that you speak that defile a person. And this is why James said that your tongue is set among the other members, but it stains the whole body. Romans 3:13 says, the throat is an open grave, they use their tongues to deceive, the venom of asps is under the lips. James 3 verse 9, with it we bless our Lord and Father, and with it we curse people who are made in the likeness of God. You know what James is really saying? The same tongue that you use to worship God is the same tongue that you use to curse him, because you curse the people who were made in his image. Genesis 1:26. Then God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. This is why when you curse people without maybe even understanding it, you are cursing God. And this is why Jesus said, everything that you have done for these little ones, you have done for me. And everything that you have not done for these little ones, you have not done it for me. When you curse other people, if you understand this or not, biblically, you are cursing God directly, because then people are made in God's likeness. If you're enjoying this video so far, drop me a like, drop me a comment, and click the subscribe button. It does really help. And look at the interesting point that James makes from verse 10 to 12. From the same mouth come blessing and cursing. My brothers, those things ought not to be so. Does spring pour forth from the same opening, both fresh and salt water? Can a fig tree, my brothers, bear olives, or a grapevine produce figs? Neither can a salt pond yield fresh water. And what James is really saying is this is a spirit issue. If your spirit is of God, your speech will be holy. But if your spirit is of the devil, then your speech is going to be dark. It's going to be demonic. It's going to be unrighteous. It's going to be restless evil, full of deadly poison. That's what James is really saying. He's saying this comes down to a spirit, man. This comes down to your spiritual condition. This is not just a matter of speech, brothers and sisters. This is a condition of the heart. And look how James, from verse 13 to 18, connects your speech, your tongue, with wisdom from above. See, James is connecting this as a much deeper issue. And look what he says in verse 13. Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. You see what James is saying? This is connected to speech. Don't think James is talking about something else. James is saying, whoever is wise among you, show it by your good works in the meekness of wisdom. He's connecting your speech to the way that you should behave, to wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. But if you have this bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your heart, do not speak it out and be false to the truth. You see how he's connecting wisdom with speech? Why? Because this is not the wisdom that comes from above, but it's earthly and spiritual and demonic. You see where speaking foolishness comes from? It's not wisdom that comes from above, but it's earthly, it's unspiritual, and it's demonic. And look how James connects it also with jealousy in verse 16. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. You see where this is all coming from? This is coming from a heart, brothers and sisters. So where jealousy and ambition exist, that's a condition of a heart, brothers and sisters. There will be disorder in every vile practice. And Philippians 2:3 also tells you, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. But the wisdom above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And the harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. You see how James connects the whole point of speech with wisdom, connects it with a spiritual condition of the heart. And this is why all of your speech, all of your selfish ambitions, all of that stuff, all of the cursing, all of this, it comes from a condition of your heart. It comes from seeking earthly wisdom. But this is what 1 Corinthians 2:6-7 tells Christians to do. Yet among the mature, we do impart wisdom, although it's not wisdom of this age or of the rulers of this age who are doomed to pass away. But we impart a secret and hidden wisdom of God, which God decreed before the age for our glory. James is telling you, if you want to deal with your speech, you want to deal with cursing, you want to deal with speaking badly, put them words away. How do you do that? Deal with the condition of your heart. This is not a matter of watching your words, trying not to say certain words. No, this is a deeper issue. This is a condition of your heart. And James is laying it out as plainly as possible. If you want to deal with your speech, you want to deal with your public conduct, the way that you behave, deal with your heart, and all of this stuff, if you seek the wisdom of God, will go away, because it comes from the wisdom that is spiritual, earthly, and demonic. But instead, seek the wisdom that comes from above. Seek wisdom that is pure, that is gentle, that is loving, that is quick to understanding, that is willing to reason, that is willing to help. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, drop me a like, drop me a comment, and click that subscribe button. It does really help.